Welcome to the Mirror Movie Universe. We're here with a very special episode, and look who's back! Nate! How you doing,
Yes,
dude?
I'm still alive. Wonderful to be here.
You look like you've just got back from an adventure in Costa Rica, like robbing a tomb or something with Indy. So we're glad to have you.
I accept. Glad to be here.
All right. We're doing a very special Marvel Madness episode to try to find the very best Marvel project to ever grace a screen, be it a film, a special, a TV show, anything. To do that, we have taken the top 60 Marvel projects as ranked by the Tomato Meter on Rotten Tomatoes. The highest Tomato Meter score, X-Men 97 with a 99, and the lowest, Iron Man 2 with a 72. We have also excluded certain projects that we haven't seen. Sorry, we just haven't seen everything. From like 2017 to 2019, there were a bunch of mutant shows that came out, like
Yeah,
Runaway,
who cares?
Broken
Who cares? We're
Dagger.
not perfect. I
Yeah,
don't care.
we just don't have time. We don't have
But
time.
we're still Marvel fans. We grew up reading comic books and watching all the stuff. So like we still have our nerd credit cards here, everybody.
Yeah.
That's fine. It's fine.
We have also given ourselves four wild cards. Those are things that we think should be included in the brackets that maybe they didn't make it, right? The tomato meter is only critics, so certain animated shows don't have a high enough critic score to be there, or enough critics review them to be there. So anyway, we've picked some of those. We'll reveal them in a minute. How this is going to work is we're going to go bracket by bracket, all the way down from 64 to 1. In the 64, the first round through, Nate and I are going to each present our argument. We have 30 seconds or so to do so. If we're in a deadlock, what do? First thing we do, we each have two Excelsiors to use in the round of 64. That's basically a trump card that says this is automatically going to advance. And then in the round of 32, we're down to one Excelsior, one trump card. From then on, from the Sweet 16 on, we have to come to a decision or flip a coin. Yeah, we're going to go flipping coins if we really can't decide.
But we are very opinionated, so we'll see. We'll see, you know?
Now that I say that, I look around, I don't have a coin. So I hope that
Neither
we
do I.
just,
We'll be fine.
yeah, we'll just pick.
Also,
Um,
worthy of noting here. Usually for our normal episodes, I've got notes, Dan has notes, and we've prepped, but there's way too much stuff to do any of that. So I've got nothing. I've got the list of properties and I've got a beer in my hand, and we're gonna rattle through these as quick as we can because that's honestly more fun than me coming up with something actually intelligent to say about any of these. So yeah, it's gonna be a fun time.
I'm very excited for it. I same thing. I've looked at the first bracket and the breakdown. I've got some picks. I've got some thoughts. From then on, nothing. It's not like I have a favorite to win it or anything. Like we're gonna go through this. We're gonna listen. We're gonna be open-minded, and we're gonna try to figure out which the best one is. Nate, what are your thoughts? Like looking at these brackets and the breakdown. What are your thoughts?
Oh, I gotta do like full sports announcer here. All right, so it's gonna be no X-Men 97, strong contender. Anything X-Men is gonna be biased with you and me, right? Because we love that stuff. We grew up with it.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the earlier Marvel stuff, pre-Avengers 1, maybe early phase 2 is gonna be heavier hitters for us. But there are some gems in there from the later stuff that I particularly like super like. I really like the Daredevil show. I really like Logan, which was a later thing. Um, Agent Carter and a whole bunch of like the smaller non-world ending projects in the later stuff. So like we could get surprised a little bit in here. But the heavy hitters are going to be early stuff, especially X-Men,
Yeah.
man, because we grew up with that more than almost anything else. So yeah, how do we even start this? Do we cue the intro or what?
Let's cue that intro. All right. First up, we have to reveal our wild card picks. So coming in first, my first wild card pick, X-Men Evolution. Doesn't have enough
Oh, classic.
critics on it for a tomato score. I love it. It's a great animated show. I think the world of it. So that's my first wild card pick. And fittingly, it's going to be going up against the number one seed X-Men 97 in
Yeah,
our first round.
we'll get to that argument in a second.
Uh,
What's your second wild card?
my second wild card is Spider-Man, the animated series from the mid 90s
92 or
up with
94?
it.
The
Yeah,
one
it
with the
has such a
Aerosmith
special place in
intro.
my heart.
Yeah.
That's going to be going up against Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. So,
Ah,
yeah,
crap.
that's going to be fun.
Um, yeah.
What about you, Nate? Your
My
two wild cards.
Yeah, first wild card pick, also a Spider-Man property. So this one's from the 80s. It's called Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends.
Hmm.
And it is a kind of a strange thing. They paired Spider-Man with Iceman from the X-Men and Firestar, who I think is like a shared X-Men Avengers property kind of thing.
Actually
Um,
created for that show. Didn't exist
really.
before that, and she was so popular that they pulled that character into different stuff.
Same, actually, going back for a second with X-Men Evolution, X-23, who's like big in
X-23.
the comics and all this
Yeah.
kind of stuff, she's in Logan, came out of that show. So that's one thing, right? Um, so Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends, it's a goofy cartoon from the 80s, and we had a couple of tapes of it growing up.
Yeah.
So it's a soft spot for me. And then the other wild card pick, my second one, is Ultimate Avengers, which was a 2008 animated Avengers movie, which if you watch it today, shares a lot of plot elements with the 2012 Avengers film. You've got like the Shatari aliens attacking Earth and all this kind of stuff.
Huh.
Nick Fury has got his eye patch and he's gathering up all of the Avengers. It's a similar-ish roster, but very interesting property because it came out right at the beginning of the MCU, not very good footing. It's just a time capsule to a point where Marvel didn't really have a leg of its own to stand on. So that's my second wild card. I don't even know what that's going up
That's
against.
going up against Black
Black
Panther.
Panther.
That is a tough
Oh
sell.
no, it's gonna lose. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that later because there's interesting things about both, right? So we'll get to that. Yeah. How do we start the actual arguments here, right?
Let's
Because
let's just dive in. Let's put 30 seconds on the clock. Start with bracket one. Coming up first, we've got X-Men 97 versus my wild card pick, X-Men Evolution. No surprise here. I'm picking X-Men Evolution.
you're
I know
wrong.
X-Men 97 is a great revival, and
It's
the
fantastic.
taking it and twisting it on its head, you've got some major character deaths there. Really, really
Yeah,
great. X-Men
Uh,
Evolution.
spoiler warning: they kill Gambit. It's amazing. Gambit sacrifices himself to kill a giant sentinel, and it's awesome. And Rogue finally realizes that she loves him after she cheats on Magneto, and Magneto's dead. And then at the end of the series, Magneto comes back to life and has a whole existential dream thing with Professor X. He tears Wolverine's adamantium skeleton out of him, like in the comics. And then they all go back to ancient Egypt, and you meet Apocalypse at the end of the first season. It's amazing. I like. There's no way it's gonna lose. X Men
Uh,
Evolution, great,
X-Men Evolution
but
is so good. Here's why I'm picking X-Men Evolution because I grew up with the 90s X-Men cartoon. Absolutely fantastic. When X-Men Evolution came out, I was like, this isn't the X-Men. This is stupid. But it won me over. It's so great to show these characters that you know and love as teenagers, doing all the teenagery stuff in the first two seasons. The second two seasons, they take on Apocalypse and do that. But it's such a great
yep.
twist. So it's the X-Men, but they're different, but they're still the same. That's why I'm going X-Men Evolution.
It does some stuff right. They don't do the love triangle between Scott, Jean, and Wolverine because Scott and Jean are teenagers and Wolverine
Right.
is Wolverine age. That's great. I never really liked that element in the 91 and 97. I don't care. Just the single episode where Gambit dies in 97, and maybe I watched it like the week of a breakup and it really resonates with me, but like just that episode could beat all of X-Men Evolution handily.
That's
I'm
the
just saying.
problem. The rest of X-Men 97 is not as strong. That episode is really good. The rest of it is like, oh, okay. Jubilee's in a video game. Da, da, da.
Those two episodes are not great. The Storm stuff with the Shadow King, great. The existential dream thing with Professor X and Magneto and the flooding bar at the end, great. All of the other stuff, fantastic. Get rid of the Mojo World stuff. Who cares? But the rest is
I
amazing.
find I feel bad like pushing for it because it's a wild card. It deserves to be here. but I will grant you X-Men
Excellent show.
97. Moving
Yes, I
on.
win.
I will grant
Okay.
you X-Men 97. Moving on. Well done, Nate. Um,
Longer than 30 seconds, who gives a crap? Second one is Doctor Strange versus X-Men First Class. Um, I think it's pretty clear we might just agree on this, right?
yeah.
It's
Uh,
X-Men First Class,
it's
right?
X-Men First Class. Yeah, no,
Yep.
nothing against Doctor
Yeah.
Strange. Doctor Strange is good. It's a great introduction to that character. X-Men First Class is fantastic
Oh my God.
as a film. Love
It's
it.
not just that. I will die on this hill. It's the best X-Men movie. Well,
Ooh,
that's what I think for later. Mhm.
I think it's the second best X-Men movie.
Maybe
Really,
they'll
really
go up
good.
against each other.
Love what they do with it. Everything with Magneto and Charles, fantastic, setting up that friendship. The rest of the mutants
Yep.
kind of get lost a little bit, but still, really great. Yeah, absolutely. So the number 9 seed there
Yeah.
beats the number 8 seed. That's
Yeah.
all great. What's up next, Nate?
WandaVision versus Captain America. The first one, the first Avenger, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Listen, first half of WandaVision, great, beats Captain America. Second half of WandaVision, piece of crap. Like, I no, seriously, like they tank the characterization of the whole show.
Hmm.
She does terrible, terrible things to this town of people, and then the one side character who I can't remember because that's how memorable the side characters are. She's like, you'll never know what you sacrificed for them, and then she like flies away, and that's it. There are some interesting elements, but it's mostly in the first half of the show. Captain America: The First Avenger is a perfectly serviceable film. It's not going to win any awards, but it's perfectly serviceable and pretty cool. So the,
I think both of
I
these
think as
are
a
I think both of these are better than you give them credit for. I think Captain America is a great movie. Really great to see his origin story. It's a little bit different and to see like the band of soldiers that he's fighting with and stuff and even kind of the silly stuff with the war bonds. It's fun. It's a really fun superhero movie. Really, really great. I don't want to say anything negative about it. WandaVision, however, is better than you're giving it credit for. Up until like the last battle, where it's just a bunch of beams in the sky and stuff, I love everything that they do with the different sitcoms each episode. It works incredibly well as a television series. I
oh
would
sure
argue
because
top two of all the MCU shows on Disney Plus.
disagree,
Really well done the way that they do each of those things. Now, what's happening outside of it
hard disagree.
with the FBI and stuff, I don't, that gets a little bit muddled. It doesn't have my interest the same way, but I love seeing everything that they do in each of those things and what's the mystery and unraveling it and everything. I think it is so inventive, so creative, and it plays so well into that television genre. Like such a great way to do it. So great to see Wanda. So great to see Vision, his resurrection, and everything that's coming from it. Like it's really well explained. To see her angst and anguish sets up beautifully that she's the villain in Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. I love WandaVision. I really do.
Cool, cool story, bro. Still bad writing. Like they're like I sorry, it's just the end. The ending sucks. Um, like great concept, brilliant concept, but I just can't stand on the laurels of the concept. I just if you really want this one, if you really want this one, I'll give it to you. Because I don't have any particular love for Captain America. I would love to see WandaVision get smacked down by someone in the second round. You want that one to win?
I'll
You
take
can have
it.
that one win.
I'll
Okay.
take WandaVision moving on,
All right.
which
The
will
fifth,
play the winner of this next round, which is
Hawkeye
Hawkeye
versus Jessica Jones,
or Jessica Jones.
right?
So number 5 Hawkeye, number 12 Jessica Jones.
I have no idea which way you're going to go with this. I go with Jessica Jones because uh, I go with Jessica Jones mostly because of David Tennant as the villain. Like he's just so perfectly evil, and it makes when he gets beat at the end that all that more satisfying. Um, he's just so perfectly evil. I've only seen the season once when it came out, and I still remember lots of really impactful and powerful scenes from it. Mostly for to his credit, it's all scenes with David Tennant that I remember. So, well,
Here's why I'm leaning Hawkeye, and going hard on Hawkeye. Hawkeye is way more fun. I get it. I get everything that you're saying about Jessica Jones. Jessica Jones for me kind of a hard watch, if I'm being honest with you, because it's so dark. And I get it. I get that Marvel can be dark. I get that it's true to the character, and I understand totally what they're doing. I'm just saying, Hawkeye, I will rewatch again and again. I love the camaraderie between Kate Bishop and Yelena. I loved seeing Hawkeye like broken, and he just wants to get out of the game and take care of his family, and he's got hearing loss, and he's hurting from all this stuff that he's done over these years, and he gets pulled in to help this girl, and
Oh
he
yeah, I
doesn't
like it
want to
because it's
be
not
there.
dark, and then you list off a bunch of stuff about it that's dark. Yeah,
Oh, but
that's
it's done in a fun way. It is genuinely so much fun to sit down and watch. Even just just the musical alone is so worth it with the Captain America musical number. That's so awesome. I'm leaning hard Hawkeye on this.
if all right. I'll give you that Hawkeye is a more enjoyable watch, especially because I do still I have the same villain love for Vincent D'Onofrio as Fisk,
Yeah.
um, and I can't give it an entire show just because of the villain. I like David Tennant a lot, right? Um, but we're not doing a Doctor Who list. We're doing a Marvel list. So I will accept Jessica Jones as a loss. However, you can give it to Hawkeye. However, um, it's too dark is no longer an excuse card that you can play when we hit Daredevil. That's
Okay.
not something you can do.
That's
Okay,
fair.
great. All right. All right. Next one. Spider-Man
Hey,
Across the Spider-Verse versus Thor, right?
yeah, I have not seen Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. This is the highest ranked property that I have not seen. I've seen the first one. I enjoyed the first one. I assume that the
Yep.
second one is good. I've seen clips of it. I'm sorry,
Yep.
internet, hate me, put stuff in the comments. I'm still gonna pick it. Thor is good. Thor is incredibly memorable for Loki as the villain. Him and Thor
Sure.
together, like that whole dynamic works really well together.
Sure, I don't care.
I don't
Like,
think it's as good as Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
no, Thor's not good. Neither is Thor 2. We'll get there. But it like it
I don't
is
think Thor 2 made the list. I don't think it's in the top 60.
good. See, here's the thing. The most interesting thing about Thor is it was the after credit scene in one of the early Iron Man movies, and they're like, "Oh, we found him, sir." And they zoom in on the hammer in the desert, and you and me in the theater were like, "That's Thor." And I go to school, and I'm like, "Oh, they're making to make a Thor movie." And my classmates at school were like, "What are you talking about? Like, it's a movie about Iron Man. There's no other superhero." And I'm like, he's in comic books with other people, right?
Yeah.
They're probably going to do a whole Avengers thing, right? Because they said in the first movie, and no one knew what I was talking about. So I'll like the most interesting thing about Thor was the setup, and then the payoff is like,
I do
so
think genuinely like Loki is great there. And I'm so glad they brought him back for Avengers. Like he's a great villain. Him and Thor are such good foils with each other.
not
But
yet. Not yet. Not yet. They are later, but like not at this stage. So Across the Spider-Verse, great. It's well developed. It's fun. Great.
I will give it to Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. I'm very happy with that.
Speaking of Spider-Man, next run. You got What If versus Spider-Man. All right. I think we're also in agreement on this one. I'm
We
I'm
are,
pretty
although I
sure.
think it's closer than people would imagine. I mean, I really do enjoy What If. I think that there's so much there that you can't do, and so much different things that you can explore, and characters get these moments that you can't get anywhere else. I really do love it a lot.
I don't. The animation gave me a headache. I don't care. Like
That's
I
fine.
like
You're
no, no, no,
so
no, no.
negative.
I hate to be dismissive of it. And it's like, oh, it's interesting or whatever. The Captain Carter episode's fun or whatever. I don't care. It's yeah, Spider-Man wins. Tobey Maguire. This is Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Just to be clear,
Spider-Man,
right?
yes, this is the Sam Raimi, Tobey Maguire, Kirsten
Willem
Dunst.
Dafoe. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. No, sure. Yeah. J. Jonah Jameson alone in that movie could just his scenes, like a little YouTube video of the 7 minutes of Spider-Man that he's in could beat What If. I swear to God. I don't hate it or anything. It's just it's not my shtick. So like, yeah.
Yeah.
Um, yep. Seven. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special versus Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a tough one, right? Um,
I think
uh,
that Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is way high. Just way high on the tomato meter from the critics. I'm going Iron Man 3. I think it's a great film. I know it's the 14 seed upsetting the third seed if it goes through, but I really do think it's a great film. It's
Interestingly, they're both Christmas films.
yes, they're
They're
both
meant
Christmas movies.
they are both Christmas movies. Furthermore, I was there when Guardians the Galaxy Holiday Special was being filmed. There is a scene where they're somewhere in Los Angeles, and I was out with my friends, and like you could see across the street, like I saw the actor playing Drex and the lady playing Mantis. And I
Wow.
was like, oh, cool. And then I watched it and I was like, I don't care. So like uh
Yeah.
yeah, no, Iron Man 3 wins. Great.
Iron Man 3 is
Um,
great. Guardians of the Galaxy Holiday Special is very Guardians, but it's not holiday enough. There's not enough there to make me say yes, better than Iron Man 3.
yeah, a lot of people watch it and they're like, Kevin Bacon, ah, ha, 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 and that's it.
Yeah.
Right? So, Avengers versus Deadpool 2 is the next one.
Um,
Um,
this is good. So number six, Avengers, number 11, Deadpool 2. It's Avengers. It's the first team up. It's everything that all these movies have been building toward. I'm sorry, like I know that Deadpool has its fans. I get it. I get that X-Force is in it, yada yada. I'm all in on Avengers. Loki's the villain. Like, come on.
Deadpool 2 is pretty okay. It did not do Cable that well. Cable's one of my favorite dudes. It's one of the reasons I love X-Men 97, right? So like, sure. There's one like fun part of Deadpool 2. I think it's Deadpool 2 and not uh, Deadpool and Wolverine. But in Deadpool 2, he goes back in time at the end to like across a bunch of different like movie franchises and stuff, and he shoots the Deadpool in X-Men Origins Wolverine in the head, just
Nice.
that guy walks out and he just goes bang and kills him. And then he goes back in time and watches Ryan Reynolds get the script for Green Lantern, and then he kills Ryan Reynolds, which is just that's fun. So it's whatever. Not enough to beat Avengers. It's a very well structured film, despite the fact that it's kind of schlocky and in retrospect now. But like, sure, give it to Avengers. Yeah.
Love it. We have made it through the first bracket. How do you feel?
I am not particularly upset about any choice. There were two close ones. WandaVision and Captain America. I didn't care about either one of them that much.
Yeah.
But it was close in how much I didn't give a crap. And then Hawkeye and Jessica Jones, I begrudgingly gave away Jessica Jones.
Yeah.
But we'll be fine. We'll be fine.